Hello everyone, and welcome to the lecture on controlling the browser with the Selenium module. So far we have used the requests module and the beautiful soups module to download contents of a page and then to grab a particular element from a web page. But sometimes the web page that we want might want us to log in, or we might have to click on several links and so on. This is where the Selenium module comes in. Okay? And we will need the Firefox browser for our lecture. So if you don't have Firefox, you can download it for free from getfirefox.com. Okay? Once you download Firefox, we also need to install the Selenium module. It's a third-party module, so we have to use the pip install command to install Selenium. So if you are using Windows, go to your command prompt, or for Mac and Linux users, open up your terminal and type pip space install space Selenium. Okay? Once you have Selenium installed, we can import it. So importing the Selenium module, it's a little bit different. It's not like what we have seen before. So before, the modules we have seen before, we can simply import it by saying import and then name of the module, right? But for Selenium, it's a little bit different. So we'll be saying from Selenium import WebDriver. Okay. The reason why we write it like this, it's beyond the scope of this lecture, but just have it like this. Okay. So WebDriver is a module in Selenium. Okay. Once we have imported the Selenium WebDriver module, we can launch the Firefox browser by calling the WebDriver.Firefox function. Okay? And this will return a browser object. And then we'll store this browser object. Let's see. Okay. So WebDriver, that's the module. That Firefox, that's a function, okay? And this will return a browser object, and we'll store this in an object called browser. Good. So let's run this. So it opens, when you run it, it opens a new Firefox browser. So this is Firefox. Okay, let me put this to the side and go to my Jupyter notebook. Okay. Now that I have launched the Firefox browser, I can control the browser by calling different methods. One such method is called the get method. Okay, so browser.get, and then I pass in the URL I want to open, the web page I want to navigate. So let's say I want to go to bbc.com. So http www.bbc.com, and then run it. So this opens the BBC webpage, right? And then from here, let's say I want to click. Now that I have the BBC webpage launched, let's say I want to click on the sports link. Okay, and then I can do that by using one of the methods on the browser object. Such method is called find element by CSS selector. So I'll be using that method to find this sport element. Okay, so how do I do that? So right click on the sport link or the sport element, and then click on inspect element. Okay, here the sport element is highlighted. Right click on it, and then click on copy unique selector. Okay, so I'll be using, as I said, the find element by CSS selector method. So browser dot find element underscore by underscore CSS selector. Okay, and then I pass in the copied element selector. Okay, so this is one method to find out an element on a web page. We have so many other methods also, but we'll be using this find element by CSS selector method. Okay, and I'll store this in an element object. The method name is a little bit long. Next, I can call the click method on this element to click on the sports link. Let's do that. So element dot click, and then run it. So that clicked on the sports link. You see, now I am in the sports link. So this is the page that I see. Let's say I want to search for something in this search text field. Okay, so to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is find this search text field element. Okay, so I can do that by right clicking on it and then inspect element. You see here the search field, the search text field is highlighted. Right click on it and then select copy unique selector. Okay, now I go back to my notebook and then find this element by using the find element by CSS selector method. Okay, so browser dot find underscore element underscore by underscore CSS underscore selector, and then I pass in, I paste what I copied earlier. Okay, and then I'll save this in another object. Let me call it search element. Okay, then the next thing I can do is type what I want to search for. Let's say I want to search for soccer. So I will type soccer in this. Now I can call the send keys method to type what I want to search for. Okay, so search element dot send underscore keys. Okay, let's say I want to search for soccer. Okay, and then run it. So this will type soccer in the search text field. Okay, next there is a method called submit that will simulate as if the user has clicked on enter. Okay, so let's do that. Search element that submit, that's the method name, and then run it. So this will simulate clicking on enter or just clicking search here on the soccer text search. Okay, so here now you see a different web page is opened, right? So this is the result for my soccer search. Okay, so these are some of the methods and activities you can do with the Selenium module. Okay, and if you want to go back, you can use the back method on the browser object. So you can say browser.back and then run that. So it will go back, and then if you want to go forward, there's a forward method, and then run it. So that simulates clicking back or forward on your web page. And then if you want to refresh the web page, there's a refresh method. So you can call on the refresh method. Okay. And if you want to quit, you can simply use the quit method. So browser.quit, and this will close the Firefox, and this will close the Firefox window. Okay, browser.quit and run it. So that closes out the Firefox window completely. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can do with the Selenium module. So you can use the Selenium module to interact with your web page. If you have to click on certain links or elements, if you have to type in or log in a certain web page, the Selenium module is the best way to do it. Okay, here I showed you one method for locating elements, but there are so many other methods like find element by tag name, by ID, by XPath, by link, by partial link text, and so on. But this is one of the commonly used methods. Okay, so here we saw that the find element by CSS selector locates a single element, and if you want to locate many elements, you can use the find elements. So find elements will find all those elements in a given page. Okay, and one more thing is, if you were to try this in a few weeks time, or let's say in a month, this might not work. Like if you follow this all instructions, this might not work exactly. That's because when a web page gets refreshed or updated, so this CSS selector element might be changed. So in that case, you will have to go to that web page, right click on the element, and then select the unique CSS selector and paste it here. Okay, we saw that this worked, but if you try this in a few weeks time or in a month, this might change. So in that case, all you have to do is, copy that CSS unique selector, okay, and run your scripts. Good. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you at the next section.